As entrepreneurs, we know one of the best ways to add additional streams of revenue to our businesses is by working as an affiliate and marketing other people's products and services, meaning we don't have to create things ourselves and make a commission when we make those people's sales. But how do we actually effectively implement this into our marketing strategy? Today, we are talking to Matt McWilliams, who quite literally has written the book on working as an affiliate and turning your passion into profit. Let's jump into our conversation as we break down points from his upcoming book all about how you can be leveraging the power of affiliate marketing inside of your business to make additional streams of revenue.
Hey guys, I'm Matt McWilliams, author of Turn Your Passions into Profits. I'm so excited today to be talking about affiliate marketing because that's my jam. I've worked with over 300,000 affiliates for some major brands and all kinds of people. You've probably heard of a few of them, and I'm super excited to be here today.
And I'm really excited because I love talking about affiliateships and working with companies as an affiliate to promote their products and their services. So, if people are brand new, what do they need to know about what an affiliate is?
I mean, at its core, affiliates are, think about it this way, like it's you promote somebody else's product, right? Something that serves your audience, something that benefits your audience, solves a problem or addresses a concern of theirs. In exchange for a little bit of the revenue, what's known as a commission. And the example I like to give, I just did this presentation yesterday, and I know we'll probably talk a little bit about the book and stuff today, and I know I talk about it in there, but the example I often give is like years ago, I was actually at this conference and kind of talking about the same thing, right? Talking about affiliate marketing, at least in my head, I gave this whole presentation. I talked about affiliates, talked about how amazing affiliate marketing is. And at the very end, it's like 1,000 people in the audience. I go, who here thinks that they can do affiliate marketing? And in my mind, like I'm thinking every hand in the place is going to go up. They're going to run up. Oh, it's amazing. I can do it. And they're like, oh. That's like how I did it in my rehearsals, right? It was like one of the first big speeches I ever gave. And so I'm like, I'm up there and I'm thinking that, and like only half the hands go up. I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like, I pick out this lady. She's about 50 years old. And I go, why don't you think you can do affiliate marketing? She's like, I don't think I can sell somebody else's stuff. And I go, come up here on stage. Come up here. And she comes up on stage. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm making this up as I go. I'm like, why am I bringing this lady up on stage? Like, I don't know. And I'm like, it hit me. I go, tell me about your favorite restaurant. And she talks about like pulling up to her favorite restaurant, what it's like when you pull up there, and then she talks about going in, what the ambiance is like inside, how the place feels. And she's talking about the service. I don't know if you ever been to one of those restaurants where it's like your water's always full, but it never feels like the waiter's actually in the way, and she's describing that. She said, the service is so good that last week my husband and I went and we forgot our doggy bag. He almost got hit by a car running the doggy bag out to him. Like, that's good service. Wow. So then I'm like, tell me about the food. Now, by the way, don't ever do this at 11:30 in the morning at a conference because people will turn on you. And I thought that was what was going to happen. And realized like they're all like Pavlov's dog out there just drooling. Yeah. She's describing this food. This is basic American food. It's like a sensual experience. She is describing this. It's unbelievable. When I turn to the audience, I go, who here wants to go eat at that restaurant? And this time, every hand in the place went up. And I looked at her and I said, you just did it. You just did affiliate marketing. You sold a room of 1,000 strangers on someone else's product. And if you think about what affiliate marketing is, really at its core, that's all it is telling other people about amazing products.
And you make it sound so easy. And when it boils down to it, there's really a lot of things we can do to make it easier on ourselves and to be highly profitable in an influencer and in an affiliate capacity. So what are some of the reasons that people should be considering jumping into working as an affiliate?
I mean, number one, it's a great way to make money. I mean, I think that kind of goes without saying, right? Like you're going to make money, but the way that I look at affiliate marketing very differently, and it's weird because this is like my entire business practically is, teaching people how to be affiliates, running affiliate programs for people. I don't teach that it should be 100% of your income. I personally don't believe that is a great way to build. Maybe early on it is, but not long-term. Like it's only about 50% of our revenue. As a company, 50% is other stuff. That's the way it should be. There should be a good mix. But early on, here's the deal. When you're first starting your business, you're getting to know your audience. You don't even really know who your audience is. Like I was surprised. I thought my audience was, if you had asked me 10 years ago, what's the average age of your audience going to be? Even 7 years ago when I got more into teaching online marketing, because I started off more in the personal growth and leadership space. So 7 years ago, when I transitioned to teaching affiliate marketing, teaching online marketing, if you'd said, what's going to be the average age of your audience? I would have said about my age. At that time, it would have been 37, 43 now. I would have said 37, 40 years old. It's 57 and a half years old. The
Wow.
average, in fact, it's gotten older. It was 54 years old 6 years ago. It's now 57 and a half years old. It's
Okay.
only going up. People who are starting encore careers, people who worked, they worked in a cube for 25 years and now they're out on their own. People who are getting laid off from their job, that, careers maybe they had for 15, 20, 25 years. They're starting their own thing now. 57 and a half years old. Almost half my audience is eligible to draw Social Security.
Yeah.
If you think about that, so I didn't even know who my audience was. So how am I supposed to create products for them early on? We don't know who our audience is.
Right.
We don't know what are the little things, like with the niche within a niche, right? Okay, you're in the productivity space. Well, that productivity space is a big space. There's time management, there's health and fitness, there's leadership, delegation, entrepreneurship, finances, goal setting. All those would be considered like part of the productivity space. Not even to mention the other things that are kind of ancillary. We have this concept we call the affiliate donut, which is like you got the whole, right? That's your core offers. That's like the one thing you're going to teach. But what about all the little sprinkles in the glaze? Your audience still wants and needs those things. And this is the weird thing that it's hard for some people to wrap their head around and get used to, is they're still looking to you to lead them in those areas. And you're like, I don't want to be the expert in those things. So what do? Well, in option one, you leave them hanging. Option two, you serve them by recommending other products. So here's what happens. You then learn what your audience wants. What is that thing within a thing, that niche within a niche? What price points do they buy at? What email copy works? What subject lines work? What sales methods work? Do you do a live? Do you go live and maybe sell 10 and you send 5 emails and get 2? Well, then you learn, hey, you know what? When I promote my own stuff, I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live 5 times. I'm going to go live every day for a week and sell a lot more than if I emailed. Maybe the reverse is true. I went live 5 times and sold nothing. I sent 3 emails and sold 30. Then why are you going live 5 times? That's a waste of time. You learn that without the risk of your own product. So there's all these ancillary benefits. I don't have time to get into all of them. But just one more that comes to mind is the getting noticed side is huge. The getting noticed thing, the getting noticed piece has been transformative for me, because 7 years ago, nobody had heard of me. I mean, outside of like the community of high level affiliate managers, nobody knew who the heck I was.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I started promoting things as an affiliate. I started getting on these leaderboards, sometimes number 13, sometimes number 4, 5, 6. And people started emailing me going, hey, Matt, you're beating me. Do you want to be friends? That's kind of I'm going to tell you right now, like I would get on. I remember the first one I ever got named Jonathan Milligan. I was number 8. He was number 9. He emailed me. He's like, I've seen you around a little bit. I'd love to talk. We talked on the phone for an hour and a half. We were like, I just like, this is so stereotypical. We were like high school girls in the 90s, right? We were like, oh my gosh, we're late. We're both late for meetings. We need to go. We got to get off the phone and like, go do work. And to this day, some of my best friends and people that have made me millions of dollars are people that I met because we got to know each other, because we noticed each other on those leaderboards. So there's all these benefits above and beyond just, you make a little bit of money.
I love that. And in your book, you listed quite a few benefits to working with affiliate programs.
20.
One of the first things you talked about is that you're able to make money before you spend it, so that there's no risk of losing your own money. Mm-hmm. So as people are jumping into this, you have the ability to raise your funds and to learn, like you were talking about, without putting much into it, because you just get to market on somebody else's behalf. You went on to talk about how it's infinitely scalable. Can you talk to me about that a little?
Well, I mean, if you think about this, like, creating your own product is so risky. I mean, even digital products, like we'll probably all have that friend who's like really entrepreneurial, but not super successful, that has like a garage that they can't park their car in because it's full of boxes of crap they made and couldn't sell. Even digitally, like my first course, I did it very low budget, still cost me $12,000. I mean, we still had a videographer and a video editor, because we didn't want all my stupid mistakes in there. And we still had other things that we had to buy. That's not even including my time. It took over 100 hours. Wow. All this stuff that we put into it, my team's time, I'm not even including that. We're talking like just $12,000 that went out, plus all the other stuff, probably $25,000 plus 100 hours of my time. It's a lot. It's a huge investment, totally worth it. We knew at that point that there was demand and we were going to make the money back, and we made it, hundreds of times over. That's great. But my point is, like, if I created on the front end, if I created on the front end and had no idea, oh my gosh, what a huge risk. I spent all that money and then sold none. Versus affiliates, like I do the promotion, I send an email, and then a month later I get a PayPal deposit for $2,000. Cool. I didn't spend anything, no risk. And so it's infinitely scalable. Infinite might be a little bit of an overstatement in that there probably is a ceiling at some point, but it's infinitely scalable in the sense of if I have 500 people on my list and I make $1,000 from a promotion, if I double my email list, I'm not suggesting that's easy. There's strategies in the book where we talk about that, but I'm not suggesting that you can just go double my email list. That'll happen overnight. It's probably not. But if you do, you double your revenue. Now, also, here's the thing. This is the cool thing. If you understand compound interest, right, is you double the size of your list and you get better. You get a 5% better open rate and a 3% better click-through rate and a 7% better conversion rate. And you promote something that brings in a little bit more money, and you earn a reputation as somebody who's worth working with. So you might even make a little bit of a commission. Like, newsflash, affiliate programs don't advertise their highest commission. There's always I teach this when I teach people how to run an affiliate program. Advertise 30%, be willing to go to 40, So now you're making 33% more money. 40, if you do the math on that, it's 10% of 30% is 33%. And you're doubling the size of your audience, and you're increasing your click-through rate and your open rate, and all these factors, and you increase your following, you could quintuple your earnings or more with none of those factors more than doubling. You see, so it starts to compound. So again, infinite in theory might be a little bit of an overstatement, but I'll tell you this. If you look at my very first year doing affiliate marketing compared to now, I do less of it and make roughly 30 times more. So it gives you some perspective there. If I did as much as I used to do, I'm a little bit less aggressive now. I mentioned now it's 50% of my business. Back then it was almost 100. If I did as much as I did back then, I'd probably make 60 times more.
Right.
So that's pretty close to infinite, I think.
I would say so. And I feel like one of my favorite parts of working as an affiliate marketer, I do affiliate work, but I also have that within the structure of my company, is that working as an affiliate takes a lot of that guesswork out of things, because the person who's in charge of the program, who's in charge of the product or service that you're selling, is doing the work for you. And I find that incredibly compelling because it takes the effort out of it for me, and I can just promote that product.
Yeah, especially early on. Most of us, I spoke to an audience yesterday and I joked, like, who here was born with a team? Who had a COO when they started their business? Nobody. We start by ourselves usually.
Yeah.
I started my business by myself with an assistant working 5 hours a week. I knew well enough when I started this business that I needed an assistant from day one, but it was 5 hours a week. Now we have a team, I don't know, like 15, 6, we're hiring 2 more people next month. So I don't know, whatever, 17, 18 people, right? But when I started off with just me, that meant I had to do everything. If I sold a course, I had to do the customer service. If they had a problem with the video, I had to figure it out. And I don't know about you, but like sometimes it means I'm Googling stuff, and it's just a nightmare. So the cool thing is when you're starting out, this is what you do. Like, again, you got passwords to reset, videos problems, you got billing issues, people who want to cancel. You're the CFO, the CEO, the CTO, the CMO, the NCAAO. You're all these things, right? You got all these things going on. When you do an affiliate promotion, here's what you do. You promote it, you collect money. They have a problem with the login, they don't ask you, they ask the other person. And if you think about this from a mathematical standpoint, all right, maybe you're going to earn a 40% commission. We're like, well, I'd rather earn the other 60% too. Here's the deal. Of that 60%, they got to pay credit card processing. They got to pay their team. They got to pay a customer service person. They got to pay a community manager. I know what it's like. And they're paying their affiliates, because that's the fastest way. Just as a whole nother thing. I talk about this a little bit in the book. You want to grow, the fastest way to grow your leads and your sales is to have an affiliate program. Well, if they're paying 40% plus 3% plus, they're not making much more than you. They're really not. They're making marginally more than you, but doing all the other effort. When you're first starting out, you just don't have that time to do that. Like, so I'd rather just focus, like you said, focus on promotion and, collection. Those are the only 2 things you have to do. I promoted it. And then you got the one thing you got to do when you're early on is make sure you get paid just to be safe. They'll probably pay you without you asking, but you always make sure. And so that's it. You don't have to do any other stuff. Oh, your password doesn't work. Send an email to these people. That's all you got to do. You don't have to do anything. I love it. So that's why we recommend starting off with that.
Sure. And knowing that this is going to help us educate ourselves and scale our own businesses and really understand who our audience is to be able to move forward and implement this into our own businesses, we are ready to go with jumping into affiliate marketing. So, once we are prepared for this, how do we actually jump into the world of affiliate marketing? I know you've got a really fun acronym for us. What is that acronym? And let's dive into the different pieces.
Yeah. So the acronym is START. We want to start something. We're going to use, I love acronyms. For one, as somebody who does a lot of these interviews and I get asked about a lot of topics, if I don't have an acronym, I got to be honest with you, I'll forget what what are the 5 steps? I think I remember 4 of them, but I forget the third one. I don't know.
Yep.
So just a little tip for you guys, like acronyms, at least for me, make things memorable. Like I'm never going to forget this.
Right.
The first S is you got to stop waiting. You got to stop waiting to monetize. So many people preach. I mean, I write about this for like 10 pages in the book because I just feel like it's like, I want to beat it into your brains.
Yeah.
So many people teach that when you start a platform, right? Whether it be a YouTube channel, a Facebook channel, an email list, like you got to give, just content, right? The problem with that is it sets you up for burnout. I'm going to tell you right now, I almost quit on my platform because I was making no money. My wife is my biggest fan, my biggest supporter. And yet in my mind, I'm going, she probably thinks I'm a total loser because I'm spending $500 a month on this blog and have 0. If I even had 600 coming in, I was just profiting $100. I'd have been like, man, I'm the man. I'm making $100 a month. Not because I think that's a life-changing amount of money, but because I can turn 600 into 1,000. I can turn 1,000 into 3,000. 0 does not scale well. That is the same. We go back. I said that first time in 2005. When I was running a sales department for my old company, I was like, 0 does not scale well. There are 2 things that don't work: 0 and free. They do not work. And so this idea of like, I'm going to give content, I'm going to build an audience and build all this reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
When you do that, you set your audience up, you're conditioning them to expect everything for free. So when you finally do sell something, they're like, what is wrong with you? Why are you trying to say? People, they'll send you hate mail. Like people are just crazy. It's weird. So stop waiting. You got to commit to monetizing right now. That's actually step 9 in the book, is commit to monetize, because it's a mental commitment. The T is just think about, what can I promote? One of the simplest ways to do that, look at your desktop, your physical desktop and your virtual desktop. Like I can look right now over at this monitor over here, and I've got 3 different softwares pulled up that I could recommend as an affiliate. I've got on my desk, I've got my planner, my full focus planner from Michael Hyatt, which I recommend, by the way, and we have an affiliate link for that. That's all I've got on my desktop personally, but I mean, that's 4. I just found 4 things like that. If you're a gardener, go out to your gardening shed. You got 50 things out there. If you're a golfer, go to where you keep all your golf stuff, right? If you're in the fitness, go look at your fitness equipment. What equipment do you have? Like I look in my gym right now. I can recommend that. My bike, my rowing machine, our treadmill, our pull-up bar, the weights that I have, the bench. Like I can recommend all that stuff if I was in that niche. Oh, actually, I've got my lighting equipment. I highly recommend it. They're great, even though one's too far away from me right now, as you and I were talking beforehand. But microphone, like all these things, just look around, right? So then I want you to apply. Now, this is the key. You think of a program, you apply to it. You don't go, maybe. No, just apply. Just go apply. We can talk about how to get some templates for doing that and whatnot. But if you just apply to one program, maybe 2, I'll give you some leeway, 1 or 2, not 30. Do not apply to 30 programs. Apply to 1 or 2. Learn how to promote those quickly and effectively, and start getting those skills developed. The R is recommend. If you remember that restaurant example earlier, what did she do? She just got up there in front of 1,000 people and told us about her favorite restaurant like she would to a friend. They're sitting in the stereotypical thing, right? They're sitting in the beauty salon, and she's talking about this restaurant she went to, and she's telling her friends how amazing it is. Is she going, and then we went and the service was great? Like she doesn't start talking like some sort of English actor, She doesn't start talking in what I call sales voice. Sunday. She doesn't start doing that. She doesn't try to come up with a great call to action or start using buzzwords. She just recommends it like, hey, there's this product that it changed my life. Oh, here's this coach, this course helped me lose 50 pounds. This software helped make designing landing pages 5 times easier for me. I don't like, who cares about all the flashy stuff and whether the copy's great? You recommend it like you're recommending it to a friend. And then the last one is you got to test. I say it 3 times because it's 3 times important. Like test different programs. Again, I said apply to what you just said, apply to one or two. Yeah, that's why it's the last step. You rinse and repeat. You go try a different one, try a couple different programs in the same product niche, but one's $97, the other's $497, or one's $1,000 and the other's $200 a month. Which one of those is more expensive? Well, technically the second one for most people, but they're worded differently because one's a monthly membership and one's $1,000 out of pocket right away. Test different subject lines, different promotional methods. Again, go live, don't go live, email, try doing this, try doing that. Try, if you're going to promote two different courses basically in the same niche, try one with a female and try one with a male. I know I do this sometimes because my audience is exactly 50-50. The highest it's ever been was 51.2% female. So I can't just promote dudes and I can't just promote women. I have to have a mix. But which one converts better? It's actually the women, ironically, I've learned, but that's a whole different story. Don't have time to do it. But how do I know that? Because I tested.
Right.
So just test different things. So that's that START acronym for you.
And it's really interesting that you say that, because I work as an affiliate for different tech companies, and
Cool.
I oftentimes recommend different programs within the context of what I'm doing in my YouTube channel and on my platform. And I really test to see what features my audience likes. And I can get a lot of information for these different companies based on what they're offering to my members and to my followers. And I can learn what's important within the context of what they're doing, which then I can create more content for. And I can lean into different tech pieces that people will like more because I know what they're going for in terms of these affiliate things that I'm working with. So I love the idea of testing to learn more information and to make sure you've got different samplings from different areas to appease all of your audience and not just lean into one side or the other. Now, I know you've got another acronym that really does speak to how we can thrive with our affiliate marketing. You use the term scale, and I want to talk a little bit about that. So what's the first thing in scale we need to know?
Yeah, I mean, so this goes ultimately to what do we want to do in terms of okay, we're thinking where we are now in our business. And I'll give you kind of some of the background on this. So we did a study. Now, I mentioned that everything I ever do all ultimately comes down to acronyms so that I can actually remember what the heck I'm talking about. And they're kind of cool, right? Yeah. But it came down, we did a study a few years ago of specifically affiliate marketers. So people like these big launches, and you see the names that you expect, right? The Jeff Walkers, the Tony Robbins, those types of people, that's who you see on these leaderboards. And what I wanted to identify was this guy who's in third place that I've never even heard of that guy. This guy in seventh place who I know, dude, he's in my mastermind. His email list is a 50th of the size of the guy in sixth place. How in the heck are they doing that?
Right.
And so that's what I studied when I did this. So we came up with this acronym. The S is, you got to shift your mindset. All right. So we talked about it, before, just stop waiting. That's a mindset thing. Well, okay, I stopped waiting. Great. Did you really? Well, no, not really. I'm still waiting a little bit. I was going to do a little bit more. Don't do research. Stop doing research. Look around. What do you see? But the shift your mindset is just, one of my favorite speakers of all time is a guy named Les Brown. And, Les Brown, he has this one video I still can remember. It's from the 80s, right? And he says, just say with me, it's possible. It's possible. You have to believe. And I thought you were teaching online marketing. Dude, you talk a lot about mindset because it's one of those things I tell my kids this all the time. Zig Ziglar talks about, both of my kids are soccer players. And I tell them all the time, what Zig Ziglar says, I'm paraphrasing here. Positive thinking is no guarantee of success. Negative thinking is a guarantee of failure. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm going to dunk. I'm going to dunk. I'm going to dunk. I'm going to dunk. I haven't dunked since I was 24 years old. I'm probably not going to dunk tomorrow. Now, if I dunk plus do my exercises, because I'm working on dunking, in about 6 months, I'll be able to dunk again, maybe 3. We'll see what we get there. Right. But I can promise you, if I did not believe I would dunk, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not going to do the exercises. If I don't believe I can dunk, why would I subject myself to 150 squat jumps 3 times a week? That's just idiotic. I do not enjoy doing them. I'm not one of those freaks who likes working out. I like having worked out, but not actually doing it. So again, belief is everything. So we got to shift our mindset to believe that it's possible to succeed with this. The C is all about capitalize. All right. And in the book, I talk about one of the examples. I don't know if I share it there, if I share it in another part of the book, but I talk about capitalizing on your assets and even capitalizing on your disadvantages. And I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, so for those of you who aren't, you're just gonna have to get over this example. But I talk about the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Now, the history of this is for like 90 years, they had been subjected to what they called the curse of the Bambino, because in like 1918 or whatever, they traded Babe Ruth, who became arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. They traded him to the Yankees for like $50,000 and a cheese sandwich,
Right.
And so they were forever cursed. They never won a World Series, and everything that could possibly go wrong would go wrong for them every season. It was unbelievable. 2004, they had a group of guys on their team. They called themselves the Idiots.
Okay.
And the Idiots, they didn't care about the curse. Curse, who cares? They didn't care about convention. So they were down 3-0 in the American League Championship Series. No team in the history of baseball had ever come down from that or come back from that. And they're in the 9th inning, down by a couple of runs, facing the greatest relief pitcher in the history of baseball, Mariano Rivera. They didn't care. They looked at this like ignorance. Most people would say that's a disadvantage. You're ignorant. How do you not know these things? They looked at that as a disadvantage. They looked at it the experts said it was a disadvantage. They looked at it as a positive.
Right.
They looked at it as a positive. Like, we're just idiots. They literally called themselves the idiots.
Right.
And so, like, capitalize on what the things that you consider to be weaknesses or downsides to your business. Oh, you have a small audience, capitalize on it. When you have a small audience, we had an affiliate years ago, Mike Kim. I mentioned Jeff Walker earlier. Mike Kim beat Jeff Walker with a list 1/200th the size of Jeff's.
Wow.
Here's what he did. He called every single person on his list that ever clicked to any of the content.
Wow. Okay.
He emailed them and said, this is an email template that I provided him. And he said, you want to hop on a call? He did 87 calls. He closed like 34 people in the last 24 hours of that campaign to go to pass Jeff and beat Jeff Walker. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my history as an affiliate manager. So can Jeff do that? No, he can't do that.
Right.
People. He can't call 87 people. Why? Because he has thousands.
Right.
So he has to rely on mass communication, whereas Mike was relying on one-to-one.
Right.
The A is you got to go all in. This was the biggest thing I saw when we studied these people, was that they went all in on the promotion. All right. Like, the difference between going all in and going half in, it's twice as much work, but you get 4 to 10 times the results.
Yeah.
All right. And so we saw they were just all in. And this is something that scares a lot of people. Like, man, I can't go all in on this promotion. I can't, if I go all in, they're gonna be turned off. Like, people don't like salesy people. I'm not asking you to be salesy. I'm asking you to go all in and invest in your audience, because here's the thing, like, we all want to be drawn to passionate people, right? We're all just naturally drawn to passionate people. And when your audience sees how passionate you are about a product, a service, a recommendation, they aren't turned off. They're actually drawn to you.
Right.
Like, nobody, when I look at people like to mentor, people I want to be friends with, I don't look for people who are like, yeah, my marriage is pretty okay. No, I want people to be like, oh my gosh, my wife's amazing. I'm more in love with her every single day. We're drawn to that. Like, there's a line that you can cross eventually. I'm like, man, you are really a little bit on the sappy side. But, like, the point though is when you go all in and you send an extra 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, am I scaring you now? 10 emails during a campaign, your audience is not turned off.
Right.
They're like, oh my gosh, they believe in this so much, they're willing to almost borderline annoy me. All right, I'll give it a go. I'll try it out. The L, I want you to look for the gaps. All right. So look for the gaps in their marketing, other people's marketing, whatever. So the first thing I do is I do a Google search. If I'm going to promote something, I do a Google search. What are other people saying about the product? What are they not saying about the product?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look for those gaps, I realize, oh my gosh, nobody's written a product review on this thing. I'm going to go write a product review.
Right.
Within 3 days, I show up on Google search for that product. Sometimes we beat the product itself. Sometimes we're the second thing down. We're the number one review. Hundreds of people instantly are hitting that page. Right? That's a gap. That's an example of a gap, right? It's not the only gap. Like, there's so many other, types of gaps that are out there, and we could go on and on. But we look, what are the gaps? Like, oh, nobody's doing video. Nobody's promoting this on social media. Nobody's promoting this. Nobody's doing podcast episodes on this, right? Like,
Right.
what are people not doing? Other affiliates or their marketing? Oh, wow. Yeah, they have a great social media presence, but this guy's never done an interview. Boom, let me get an interview. I will be the only podcast interview with this person.
Right.
That's a gap. And then the E is engage. I want you to just think of ways that you can use this affiliate promotion to engage your audience on completely new levels. All right. So what is it? In the book, I talk about this one example. Again, I don't remember if it's in that section or in a different section, but I talk about Stu McLaren, how when he promoted Michael Hyatt's 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever a few years ago, when we were running Michael's stuff, Stu created a pop-up Facebook group
Yeah.
specifically about goal setting. You
Yeah.
know, like that's a new level of engagement. So just think of like, how can you use this affiliate promotion to engage your audience on some sort of a new level, get them more involved than usual around the topic that you're promoting as an affiliate. So that's that SCALE acronym there for you.
I actually remember that pop-up group. That was very well
Oh my
done.
gosh, really?
Oh yeah, I've watched these people for many years, and I love studying, working on affiliate marketing. I've learned so much just from watching some of these people, and the fact that you had a hand in that was pretty impressive to me when we decided to do today's interview. And I know you've got a lot of research and experience behind everything that you're talking about inside of your book. One of the things that we discuss inside of your story, inside of your book, is that we have to make sure we're understanding why people are going to buy. So when we're speaking to them, when we're dealing with our copywriting, we need to understand their motives behind why they purchase things. And one of the first things you talk about is that something that saves their time is going to be very attractive to them. Do you want to speak on that a little?
I mean, just think about the reasons why you buy things. Yeah, I'll give you a great example. There's an oil change place. I found them the other day. There's a place we've gone to get an oil change there for. And yes, I realize for those of you who think this guy's from Indiana, but he says oil. I was born and raised in the South. All right. We don't pronounce OI. It's like an sound. All right. Just so you know. So I'm very conscious of that because my wife makes fun. My wife's from Indiana. We live in Indiana now. And she's like, you say oil, haha, you boil water. I'm like, I know, I'm from North Carolina and we're all rednecks down there, but whatever. And so there's this place like we've gotten our oil change there for 8 years. The guy who runs it is the dad of one of my daughter's old soccer coaches. We have that connection. Every time I go there, got an appointment. I go in. I'm usually like, we have to wait like 15 minutes for them to finish the car in front of us. They have one guy there, and then I have to wait 30 minutes for him to change the oil. Well, one day I went there, and kid you not, he comes in and goes, "We're out of oil." I'm like, you have one job here, dude. So I'm like, but we needed the oil change because we were going to a soccer tournament like 3 hours away. We were driving, so we needed to get the oil change. So I went across just down the street, actually, like 5 miles away. I was in and out in 11 minutes.
Okay.
I literally took a book with me. I didn't even I read like one page in the book. Yesterday, I went to this same place. Wednesday, I went to the same place 2 days ago. I'm like, I'm going to get there. It took 11 minutes last time. It'll probably take a little bit longer this time. And I'm going to get there, and I'm going to, by the time I pay the lady and they do stuff, I'm going to check into Slack and update my team on some stuff. I kid you not, I never even got to touch my phone. I was in and out of this oil change place in 7.5 minutes. When I called my wife to tell her, I was like, this lady was like, yeah, you don't need to get your oil change that often with this car. She's like, let me teach you how to do it. And you can take it an extra 2,000 miles. I'm like, wow, that's amazing that she did that. She's like, oh, so you didn't get the oil change? I was like, no, I did. It was so quick. My wife assumed I didn't even get it changed.
Wow.
It cost $12 more than the other place. $12 to save 30 minutes.
Deal.
That is worth my time. I mean, just not have to just sit there. And I've been in a place where I'd wait 30 minutes for $12. Like when I was in my 20s, you better believe it. I would wait an hour to save $12 because I was broke.
Right.
But people buy to save time. It's the reason why. It's one of the biggest reasons why people save time. Save time, save money, solve a problem, of course. But saving time can fit so many things because it's like, why do we buy something like ClickFunnels? Well, you can actually replicate it if you paid a developer and did all the stuff, and it would cost you a lot more money. You could do it yourself if you want to teach yourself coding and build it all. Or in about 20 minutes, you could do it in ClickFunnels. And that's not an endorsement. I'm just using that as an example.
Sure.
Because it saves you a ton of time. Like instead of spending an afternoon, an entire Saturday afternoon, and missing all the stuff that I want to do on a Saturday afternoon, I just set up a page in ClickFunnels and it's done like Friday morning. It's just so like that's one of the biggest reasons. And so think about ways like how does this product make their life better? Well, it saves them time, it saves them money. It solves a problem, it makes them money. That's another one. Like it doesn't have to be about saving money. It could be making money. They're one and the same if you think about it. Whether I have $1,000 that I make or save $1,000, it goes to the same place, which is to the kids. Goes to kids soccer either way.
There you go. It all boils down to the kids' soccer games.
Pretty much does.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that in your book, you do go through and you list different reasons for people to buy that we can lean into as we're having conversations with them, as we're doing our live streams or creating our videos or sending out our newsletters. You go on in your book to talk about copywriting to make those sales and how to create more content and the phases of success within affiliate promotions. And I cannot recommend enough that people who are jumping into the world of affiliateships should be grabbing your book and taking a look at that. So before I let you go, any final thoughts on people who want to jump into working in an affiliate capacity, and what are those first steps for them to take right now today?
I shared it earlier, again, stop waiting. Then just take a moment. When I say look at your desk, I'm typically speaking to, people in the business world. But like I said, what if your business is going to be around gardening or around health and fitness? Go look and open up. I mean, if I could probably run a health and fitness blog and come up with 1,000 things because I take 1,000,000 supplements and have a full, home gym. Right. So for me, it would be super easy. What are those things? What are you using? Oh, maybe it's for people who don't want to build a home gym. So what bands are you, the stretchy band things? What are those? What are those of you using? What things are you using?
Right.
Or what did you use 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Because typically I talk about this in the book. We're 9 times out of 10, when I talk to somebody, they are 6 months to 6 years ahead of where their audience is.
Right.
That's where, so I have to think back because some of the things that I recommend, this is a whole different topic in of itself. Not everything that I recommend do I currently use. Why? Because I'm using something that's more advanced, right? I do not recommend starting with my host. The company that we host our website with, I don't recommend starting with them. Why? Because it's a couple $100 a month.
Right.
I recommend doing the $20, $25 a month, virtual, whatever. I don't remember what we recommend. Now I do say, hey, if you're running a multi, mid 6-figure, 7-figure business, yeah, go with our host, Agathon. They're great. It's $225 a month though, but it's white glove service and it never goes down and it's lightning fast. But if you're starting out, do not spend $200 a month on hosting. You don't need it. You got 8 people, 4 of whom are related to you reading your blog. You do not need a $200 a month. So here's what I recommend. So that's really where you start. Then, like I said, you apply, you recommend, and then you just continue to progress from there by testing. I hate to go back to that and just be like that, but that's where you go.
It makes a lot of sense to start where you're at and grow and to use what you have around you to thrive in the affiliate space. I want to make sure everybody has information to reach out to you and to get their hands on a copy of your book. So where can everyone learn more?
Yeah, very simple. Go to passionsintoprofitsbook.com, passionsintoprofitsbook.com. Depending upon when you're listening to this, you'll see a page there. We've got just an astronomical amount of pre-order bonuses, some amazing offers you get just for grabbing a copy of the book. So go there, grab a copy, grab one for a friend. If you know somebody who, could benefit from this, it's for anybody who needs help, getting started or scaling their small business, in the world of those things that we're passionate about, right? The things we have a message for, the thing that we're called, to help others with. Anybody who's in that kind of business, what we would call an influencer or a platform builder, right? If you're in that business and you need help, this book it's got the steps that I took over the course of almost 10 years to get to where I am today. It's got the steps in there that have worked for literally thousands of others as well. So go check it out. passionsintoprofitsbook.com.
Hit that subscribe and notification bell because Matt is coming back for another episode talking about your content creation and why more may actually work to your benefit. We are going to be dropping videos daily to help you level up on your social media content production so you can spend less time creating content but be more profitable online so you can get back to running your business and living your best life. And we will be answering questions down in the comments, so make sure you hit us up and let us know what was your most valuable point from today's conversation and what you want to talk more about in upcoming videos.